But let's get into the last segment of the show, which is seeing how the internet did react to the game yesterday. And the first one is from the Belgian Hotspur Sharky, and says, today highlighted quite nicely the deficiencies in our squad and setup. Lack of 1v1 specialists to break down an organised defence. Kulu got his goal, but he's always so poor when tasked to break down a defence. And 2 backup fullbacks that mirror Udogie and Porro's profile. And I actually think that is absolutely 100% bang on the money. I've been saying it for a number of months now that we need those specialist wingers, those one-on-one demons that can attack from the wide areas and get quick crosses in the box. We just don't have that at the moment. Even Sonny isn't really completely of that kind of mold, as much as we all love Sonny and he's obviously a world-class player. We do need those kind of Pedro Netos, those Nico Williams, those kind of players to come into the squad and 100% implement what Ange wants to do.
Yeah, you need wingers that as soon as they're on the ball, you don't know whether he's going left or right. As soon as you have the defender second guessing which way he's going with his feet, you know, it creates absolute havoc and confusion. So yeah, you're looking at the likes of Williams, Neto, Kvicha from Napoli. You know, these are the types of guys that will come and will impact the team straight away. And that for me is where we need to build in the summer. I want to see those building blocks put in place. And hey ho, it's going to cost a few bob.
Yeah.
You know, it will cost a few bob. But this is what we've lacked, you know, in the past. And it's why we don't actually ever move up a level in terms of where we are. And we kind of, we bounce up and down, and we stay grounded in our kind of fight for Champions League. But for me, and for Ange, I think, from the way he's spoken, Champions League position is not enough for Tottenham Hotspur. It's not. It's not a cup. It's not a trophy. It's a building block in itself. And it's getting back to where we want to be. But it's not a success at the end of the day. For us to be a successful team, we need to go back to winning trophies. And I think that's what Ange Postecoglou's come here to do. And if you give him those types of players, have no doubt that he will bring success to this club.
Agreed. And another spot-on fact is the backup fullbacks that just, you know, they also don't suit exactly what Ben Davis is not anywhere close to Destiny Udogie. He can't offer us anything close to what he does offer us. I think Destiny and Porro are actually perfect fullbacks for our system. But once they get injured, we're out on our legs a little bit because Emerson ain't they
were bought
fullback.
for different systems. It was different systems. You know,
Exactly.
Davey's been hanging around for way too long, and you know, Royale was bought for a completely different system. So
BLTHFC says the main problem is the goals we're leaking. We make life 10 times hard for ourselves going 1-0 down and then facing 11 men in their own box. If we don't concede from their corner, we concede from our own. So preventable. It's so preventable and so frustrating. When was our last clean sheet? So we spoke about the last clean sheet, which was Nottingham Forest on the 15th of December, which is crazy. We haven't kept a clean sheet in this calendar year yet. In the Premier League.
It's poor. It really is poor. Considering we've got two fantastic centre-backs and we do have Porro and Udogie there, you would expect this defence to do better. And maybe this is a symptom of the Ange style of football that you concede, but you always outscore. But I just don't think that that's feasible to outscore your team for a whole calendar year. I just don't think it's doable. So,
but I don't think that was the case. Like I always take it back to those first 10 games. Like we were beating teams quite comfortably. Our defense looked really solid. We weren't conceding too many chances either. Like Vicario, yeah, fine. He made a couple of good saves in that period, but it's not like he was coming under as much pressure as he is now. It feels like just one ball down the middle of the park splits us open every single time at the moment. And I just don't know. Like we need to sort this out ASAP because we can't keep going on conceding goals from set pieces. When we have attacking set pieces like yesterday, being able to be susceptible to the counter-attack as much as we are, like it's not good enough.
No, it's not good enough. And Ange needs to find the solutions to where, you know, we are going wrong as a team and get back to the way we were in those first 10 games. I think what you were saying earlier could be spot on, though. You know, if Biss at his best, if he is the difference maker, and he's a good enough player to be that difference maker, I'm really going to be looking at him over the next few games to see if he can be that difference maker, and if him being in that six just solidifies that defense a little bit more, and we can see some better defensive performances.
If he can't, and if he goes from now to the end of the season playing this way, as he's been post Luton and the red cards, then what would your opinion be? Would we need another 6 to come in the summer?
What if he keeps his drop off? His drop off is the level as it is today. Be bringing Bergvall into the team, mate.
But again, he's not even a 6. Like, he's an 8, and he's 18 years of age.
At this stage, you know, honestly, it'll be a big worry for me if he keeps this low level of form. But for me, the quality is there, so it's just about unlocking it. You know, we don't know. Sometimes, you know, this is another thing that we tend to forget about players. They're also humans. You know, they have their own things going on in their own lives, personal things. Could be 1 in a million things that has put Biss off in, you know, the last couple of months.
Just look at Richarlison.
Yeah, just look at Richarlison, and then a difference maker after the surgery and a bit of mental health and psychology. So for me, Biss needs to do whatever it is that will help him get back on an even keel and get him back to those performances in the first 10 games. Do it, Biss. If you need to see a psychologist, Richie's got a good number of form. So, you know.
Lily White Lab tweeted this out yesterday, saying, completely and utterly confused about what Ange's plan for this game was. Result is 100% on him. Yeah. I get you wanted to invert the fullbacks to overload numbers in midfield and to also free up isolated wingers to attack their fullbacks. But one, we had the overload in midfield already with a 3v2, bringing Emerson and Davis infield cramped the space as opposing wingers followed, and therefore we struggled in there more than we should have. 2, that would have been fine if the overload meant quality superiority with the likes of Porro and Udogie in there. To have Emerson and Davies playing as almost number 10s, our 2 least technical and dynamic players, makes no sense. Leave them out wide in the build-up and let our players dominate theirs. And 3, even that the overload in midfield is freeing up our wingers to get at their fullbacks. It doesn't make sense to me because he doesn't shine at beating their fullbacks anyway. So to go through all of an effort to get them 1v1 makes absolutely no sense to me. Seems like we're just being stubborn for the sake of it. We've looked terrible for weeks now, and he needs to adapt in some way to get getting the edge in games. And then that was quote tweeted by Travis Levinson that says, this is spot on. It is becoming very evident that Ange isn't necessarily adapting to the players at his disposal, and the wingers are a prime example of that. A huge part of our system is to open passing lanes and create 1v1s for them, yet they don't thrive in these situations. And look, I think that is spot on, to be honest, because we know, they know, he knows, everyone knows that Emerson Royale and Ben Davis, particularly Emerson Royale, ain't good enough to do the role that they were playing in yesterday. Ben Davis, you know, I think he can fill in as a centre-back. I don't think his position is left-back anymore. It's particularly an inverting left-back. Emerson as well, like, in a defensive system, fine, you can put him at right back, but not in this attacking, free-flowing, inverting system for Emerson Royale. And I feel like potentially if he would have just kept to a standard back four without inverting these 2 players, we wouldn't have been so open at the back.
I actually think that's spot on, Ben. You know, sometimes you play to your formation and your tactics, you go by what you have at your disposal, not just what you have in your mind and your kind of way of playing football. You know, if you don't have players that can play a certain system, then you have to look at making some adaptations to the system. And I do think if we played a flat back 4 yesterday, you would have maybe seen a bit more stability in there. And I tend to agree with the guy that says that, I don't know who it was out of the commenters that said that this one's on Ange. For me, this one is on Ange.
Yeah, that was from Lily White Lab. And look, I think we're all feeling a bit similar, and I think you're spot on in what you're saying, to be honest. Apollo tweeted out saying, "Such a loser mentality and reactionary take. Calm down, we move." And this is in reaction to a tweet that says, "This is who we are. This is the real Tottenham. Pochettino worked miracles and changed our lives, but let's pile him with abuse because he took a job when he was jobless." And then obviously the Apollo, which I spoke about before, has put a picture in there of the last 10 matches and Spurs sitting third in the form table, only 3 points less than Man City and Liverpool.
Yeah.
So do you think that this is the club that we are, what we're showing? This is just who we are, who we've always been?
No. I think that's reactionary in its sense. This isn't always who we've been, and that's nonsense. We're a side that has won European trophies, that has won FA Cups, that has done doubles. I want to remind people of the history. This is a club that wins things, and I think that's part of the reason that Ange has taken the job. He hasn't taken the job to say, "Oh, I'm coming here for a paycheck." I don't think that's what interests Ange, to be honest with you. I think he's about
the glory.
Yeah, he's about the glory. So I think he's come here to win trophies, and I think he's just figuring out how he can do that and what steps need to be taken in the process. And it's just about having a bit of patience, Spurs fans. It's not all doom and gloom. It's not all, we're in the gutter and we're getting relegated. Without Harry Kane, we're getting relegated. It's far from that, right, guys? We're in a decent position. We've got a fantastic manager. We're building a squad, and Ange is understanding the capabilities of his players very, very well. There will be no excuses after this window to say that Ange doesn't have the players that he wants, because he would have had 2 windows by then.
Agreed. Invert the Wing said yesterday, "Anytime Emerson Royale gets the ball near the final third and is tasked with crossing it, I'm just sure it will go out of bounds or hit the first man. Seriously, a man less in attack. He's dreadful for the system." And it's hard to disagree after seeing what he performed out yesterday.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying, because you're a man that always kind of defends him.
I want to defend him. I want to, and I love the guy. I love the fact that he spent so much money to help, some machine that helps your body recover quicker. I love all that about Emerson, and I love his attitude and his personality. But there are aspects in his attacking play that are just not good enough for what we're doing.
And we're playing an attacking system. Exactly. So does he fit our club?
He doesn't. He doesn't. In terms of his personality, fantastic. In terms of the football that we're playing currently under Ange, he doesn't fit the system, guys. You'd be better off there with, I hate to say it, a youth player, to come in for backup, that at least you're building up. He's not right for the system.
Like, you can have all the personality in the world, you can have all the great mentality in the world, if you're not, suited. Because I don't think he's a bad footballer, but any stretch of the imagination. I think he is a good defender.
He is.
But the system that we're playing is just not suited to him.
Not suited to him.
Charlie Eccleshare says, full time, 2-1. That had been coming. Wrote on the topic after the Everton game, Spurs have had a few home wins that could have gone either way. This one doesn't go their way, and they really didn't deserve much from it. I think we've kind of said that pretty much the whole show, to be honest. But that result had been coming, hadn't it?
It has. It has. We let it slip at Everton. We got lucky with Brighton. And eventually your luck runs out. You can't rely on luck, especially in the Prem. We didn't get the rub of the green. And Wolves just, they really came with their game plan, and they got exactly what they deserved. And honestly, Gary O'Neill needs to get a lot of praise, because I think since he's taken over there, he's done a fantastic job. And it's official now. Wolves are our bogey club. It's official.
It's official. 5 times we've played them at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. They've beaten us 3 of those.
Crazy.
It's mad, isn't it?
Crazy.
Mad. And this is what I was saying in the preview as well. Like, every time we play Wolves, it's a tough game. Home, away, no matter who the managers are, it's always a tough game. And yesterday was no different. This next one is from Bori saying, It was written in Korean, so sorry if this translation isn't absolutely spot on, but it says, "Oh my, I enjoyed a lot. Hichana, why are you like that?" And I think Hichana is Hwang Hee-chan, and this is just the moment, if you see it on screen there, Hwang Hee-chan just pulling Coutu Romero behind his back so the ref couldn't see it, and kind of pulls him to the ground, and nothing was given, obviously, just a throw on to Spurs.
Oh yeah, there you go. He's just tugged him. Yeah. Romero's gone absolutely mental.
The next one again is from Korean, saying, "When Hee-chan fell, he came right away and hugged her." So Hwang Hee-chan fell, and then Sonny and Hwang Hee-chan had a nice little embrace.
Little embrace there, yeah.
Always nice to see. Another one is from a Korean fan called Ham Tottenham, and I can't translate this one, but this is Matt Doherty and Heung-min Son having a nice little embrace after the game as well.
Oh, look at them. Best buds, eh?
I don't think
who doesn't like Son?
That's what I'm saying. Is there anyone that has ever played for Spurs that isn't like best mates with Sonny?
I think he's best mates with everyone, isn't
Literally. This next one is Hwang Hee-chan and Heung-min Son in the dugout after the game, taking selfies with each other, sitting and chatting with each other. They were there till the early hours of the morning, apparently, just sitting and talking to each other. Do you reckon they were talking about the game, or were they talking about the sacking of Jurgen Klinsmann from the South Korean manager's post? Who knows?
Yeah,
but
it's probably Korean gossip, I reckon's going down right there. I'm sure.
But that is the situation. Did you show the pictures? So there you go. Sonny and Hwang Hee-chan just chatting all the way through the night there yesterday at Spurs. And bit of a similar one for next one. Hwang Hee-chan has been treating our ground like it's his own house. If you go to the next one, you can see this is from the Tottenham Hotspur. This is from the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium last year. And then they've recreated it this year. Just Sonny sitting up on the thing, and then Hwang Hee-chan like a little school kid.
That's hilarious.
With his legs crossed, talking to Sonny.
Decent player.
He is a decent player. I thought he played well yesterday.
Yeah, he did well.
He was trying a bit of shithousery yesterday, though. He was like on the ground trying to get the ref's attention, holding his head. The ref's having none of it, and then suddenly he got up and they just sprinted at 1,000,000 miles per hour.
And mate, he must have some cojones on him to pull Romero's shirt, to pull Romero down like that. I wouldn't go anywhere near Christian Romero. Yeah. So he's obviously not a frightened fella. He's Chang.
HLTCO saying James Maddison walking out at Spurs with Samuel, a 6-year-old lad with cerebral palsy who recently walked a mile for charity. It's absolutely beautiful
top
content.
Man, James. Top man.
And he is a top man. You saw as well in the open training session, I don't know if you saw it, but him going to embrace all the younger fans and giving his time to the younger generation, which is beautiful to see.
Beautiful to see, and long may it continue. It's part of the culture at Spurs, the community vibe. It's really important to me, and I love seeing that kind of stuff. So hats off to James Maddison. Long may it continue.
Son Love says, Sonny, please, we are in the middle of a game. This is Sonny having a huddle with 8 Nori there. I mean, this guy just loves everyone.
Oh, Sonny.
This was, again, from a South Korean fan saying, when Son comes out, the shouting is overwhelmingly loud. And it definitely was yesterday. You see every person's name being read out on the team sheet. And then when Son's name gets called out, literally the whole stadium goes into a massive roar. But you know what was crazy yesterday at the game? The amount of South Koreans at the game yesterday was absolutely astonishing. I came out after the game on Park Lane Road, and pretty much it was only South Koreans that you could see.
Really?
It was actually mad. I've never seen anything, because obviously it was a big South Korean derby yesterday. Hwang Hee-chan against Heung-min Son.
Yeah.
Apparently there was about over 5,000 Koreans there.
Wow, unbelievable.
Son Love saying, bro, collecting men like Pokemon. I don't know what that's all about with the ref and Sonny. What's he giving him there? Is he giving him a Pokemon?
I don't know. Maybe it's whistle. Maybe it's his whistle or something.
He puts it in his pocket as well. I don't know what is going on there. Spurs resident is saying, I hope Ange learns a valuable lesson from today's game. And that's live score saying Son's 18 goals and assists this season have been worth 16 points to Spurs, with only Salah's goal involvements being worth more for a side in the top flight this term, which is 18. That's what you call a clutch player, isn't it?
Yeah. World class, world class. He comes up with the goods, just when you need them, like against Brighton with that fantastic, inch perfect ball. If it's not a goal, it's an assist. You know what Sonny brings? What a captain, what a leader, what a player. I really hope that Spurs value what he brings, and we'll try and keep him here for the
years to come.
The years to come, for sure.
Red Roll says, feel really bad for him. He's been through a lot lately, and today's game only adds more burden. And that's Son looking a bit distraught, walking off the pitch yesterday. And rightly so, because not only was the team performance not great, unfortunately, he wasn't great as well.
Yeah, his personal performance, he wasn't at his best yesterday. And we know Sonny takes these kind of losses very hard. I just hope that he's rearing himself up, really training hard over the next couple of weeks and looking to absolutely put Palace to bed. Was it? Oh no, it was when he came on and scored the hat-trick. Was that Leicester? It was Leicester, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It wasn't Palace. But yeah, he'll be looking to do that, that kind of performance.
He'll come back stronger, Sonny.
Yeah,
we know that.
He will.
Jacko Katz says, the worrying part of everything is that Ange doesn't seem bothered by the chances we concede and the goals we concede. How can you say that we didn't concede much against Wolves when they could have scored about 3 or 4 goals? Does he even care about the defensive structure? Look, there's also a case to say that there's one thing you say to the press and there's one thing that you do and say to your team behind closed doors. So do you think there's an element of that? No, there's not.
No.
So you don't think he cares about the defensive structure?
No, I think of course he cares.
Oh, so you're saying there is an element?
Yeah. I think of course he's not. I think sometimes again you say things to the press and that behind closed doors he'll be up. You think Ange will be okay with letting Gomez just have a free header? Do you think he'll be okay with Biss running all the way back but not, having his hand on the player being ready to pounce? He's not going to be happy about any of those things. The fact that he likes to play attacking football doesn't mean that he can just, let the defense be leaky and let it be the way it is. He's going to have to find solutions within the systems that he plays to solidify that defense. Will it naturally build more solidity once Porro Udogi's back with Biss there covering? Maybe. Let's see. But to suddenly go in on Ange and say, he doesn't give 2 hoots about the defense, it's not correct for me.
Next up, again, another embrace with Sonny and Hwang Hee-chan taking a selfie after the game. Lovely to see them coming together after the best bros after what they had to go through with Klinsmann and the Asia Cup.
What is it with Klinsmann and management? He can't manage, can he?
He's not a manager, man.
He's not a manager, but how do you get the positions again and again and again? Where does he turn up? America,
I don't know. I don't think he's going to get another one after this, unfortunately. As much as, I loved him as a player for Spurs.
He can't manage.
He's not a manager.
He can't manage, no.
THFC report, this is Sonny after the game, just looking absolutely distraught with the, result, performance, personal performance, everything. Everything was wrong yesterday.
Yeah. But this is what top players, this is what you're made of. It will show against Palace where Sonny is. I'm going to be keeping a key eye on Sonny's performance against Palace because I want to see him personally bounce back.
He will.
And he will.
We know he will.
I'm sure of it.
Craig Pankhurst says, we have to be completely honest and say the gap in quality between us and the top 3 is as big as us and the bottom 3. Wow. I don't know about that. You think that's true? I mean, it's easy to say that after a performance and a result like yesterday. I don't agree with that.
No.
It's not as big as how can it be as big as the bottom 3 to the top 3?
It's just a bit of an extreme statement, but I kind of understand where he's coming from with that.
I agree that maybe there's a bigger gap to us in the top 3 than maybe what people would have thought, after the first 10 games of the season. But to say Man City and Liverpool are as better us than we are better than Sheffield United and Burnley, I think that's a stretch too far.
No, that is a stretch, but I understand where his frustration's coming from because He's seeing that gap there is between us, City, Liverpool, and Arsenal, and he's saying, you know, how do we make that up? He's almost saying it's an impossible task. We're looking back down the other way instead of looking up. And I understand that. But what I would say to that, have a bit of patience, see how we go in the window, see how Ange develops his squad. And let's talk at this point next season and see where we're at.
This is another one from a South Korean fan saying legal beating of the referee. This was Mickey van der Ven just completely smacking the ball at the ref. And I actually thought the ref was going to let that go for a second because South Korea, Wolves were actually on a mad counter attack.
Yeah, it was a great ricochet for them.
But the ref did pull the blade back
he had to.
He has to. But you know how these things work at Tottenham sometimes.
Oh, mate.
You can just see it. Like, only Spurs, that wouldn't have been pulled back. Lily White Lab, yeah, we've been through that one. This is from No Context Tottenham. Let's see what this is. Ben Davis's header in the last minute. Like, how can you just get it so wrong?
I don't, you know, as a striker, Ben, you know, when I see those kind of things, I go absolutely mental. I go mental because I just think all you had to do in that situation is put it on target. You put that on target, most likely it's going in the back of the net. You know?
Yeah. 9 out of 10 times for sure. This one says Brennan Johnson as an impact player. And that's exactly how I was feeling yesterday. It's just like no threat whatsoever. Just put it down.
I think it's a bit harsh. I don't know. Like, you know, I like the kid. I like Brennan. I think he's got the right attitude.
I like him as well, but like he's not having the impact. That's the reality.
I hear that. He's not having the impact that we want. You're right. But I do think we need to just be a little bit patient with him. And I think there are goals and assists in his game. He's shown that. He just needs to... For me, it's almost as if every time he gets the ball, he's kind of rushing things a little bit too much. And it's like maybe a lack of concentration when the ball's not sticking.
To me, it looks like a lack of confidence.
Yeah. Could play into it as well.
Rafi Ben David shows this... maybe you can translate this one for us because it's in Hebrew. Ani logo gamuz. Do you know what that means?
Wait. I can't actually see from here. Where am I looking at? Oh. Anila João Gomez. Okay. Yeah, he's having a go at he's just having a go at João Gomez there. Yeah.
Okay.
That's what, yeah.
And then you can see what the fans' reaction was to him. Next up is another one of Sonny and Hwang, a bit of an embrace in the game. Cody Mack says that Davis header sums up today perfectly. Utterly turgid performance. We don't need to say more about that, do we? We really don't. Extra Inch says poor team selection, poor use of the bench, lacking in adaptability. A very sad one to watch play out.
Agree with all of that, really.
Yep. And this one says Davis and Emerson and starting fullbacks in 2024, and that's just a meme of Klopp saying, "I'm starting to run out of energy. I'm running out of energy."
Bless him.
But yeah, that is all we have time for today. That is all we have